Hello fellow football connoisseurs and welcome back to the quick take. Chelsea versus Manchester City just got done battling at the Etihad in a game that finishes 1-1, but really should have finished 2-1 or even 3-1 to Chelsea. But before I continue, I would like to quickly remind you, if you don't already know, I'm running a giveaway with OwnASaber.com. We're at 15,000 subscribers. I'll be giving away 3 King of London lightsabers, courtesy of OwnASaber.com. All you need to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and check the pinned comment down below for more information. Now, before I get into this video properly, I would like to quickly apologise. Last night, I was going to record a video last night, and then I sat down in my chair, and I could feel my eyes going. I felt like I hadn't slept in 2 days, so I just got into bed basically and slept for 2 hours. Woke up around midnight, and then I haven't been to sleep since. My body's just not working right at the moment. So if I'm a bit out of it, if I sound a bit monotone, if I'm stumbling over my words a bit, that's because I'm literally running on fumes. But I hope you're all doing well and better than I am. Chelsea, as I said, 1-1 at Manchester City in a game that there was barely any optimism going in terms of getting a result. As you can see by the attacking momentum here, it was basically one-sided for the majority of the game, although Chelsea did have their chances, and chances that were far more clean-cut than Manchester City's. A lot of one-on-ones, a lot of, you could call them sitters, but a lot of easy chances, or chances a more experienced player or better equipped player in terms of their finishing ability and their decision-making ability would have love to take, but Chelsea were unlucky to get all 3 points. There was some skepticism coming into this game as to whether or not Sanchez would return to his position between the sticks. Of course, he's now back in training, but I did think George Petrovic deserved to start this game. I thought, he's done fairly well this season since he's come in. There's not been any major issues anyone's really had with him. He's not had many distribution errors, he's not had many guffs in terms of saving easy shots, but I think he's had a good. The only thing I would say he needs to improve upon is claiming the ball ability, and his ability to punch the ball, because a lot of the time when he does rush out to get the ball, he sometimes misses it, and it does leave us a bit panicky at the back. But other than that, I'm quite happy with him starting in net. We have the lineups here, obviously starting in the classic 4-2-3-1 shape with Ben Chilwell, Colwill, Disasi, and Malagusto starting. Disasi, by the way, it doesn't reflect in his sofa score here, but he was absolutely fantastic for 89 minutes. You could even say 90 minutes. He had a fantastic game, winning lots of headers. And then Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo in the pivot just in front of them. Raheem Sterling, Conor Gallagher, Cole Palmer, and then Nicholas Jackson up front. A bit of skepticism around Raheem Sterling as well. And although he did score the 1 goal Chelsea did score today, I still think he could have had a far better game. He had a one-on-one with Ederson and just kind of shot it straight at him. Not something you would want to expect from a player like Raheem Sterling, who is as experienced in terms of scoring as he is. Although at Manchester City, those cracks could be papered over with the amount of chances he was given and the players around him. But Man City set up in there, well, they came out in a 4-1-4-1, but it really turned into a 3-2-5 basically in game. With Ederson in net, of course, Nathan Ake, Ruben Diaz, Manuel Akanji, and Carl Walker playing in the defensive line. But Manuel Akanji actually stepped up to be alongside Rodri in possession. Rodri, of course, he got the man of the match performance. I don't think he was man of the match. I really think that could have actually gone to either Axel Disasi or even Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer had a fantastic game. Jeremy Doku, Julian Alvarez, Kevin De Bruyne, and Phil Foden just sitting behind Erling Haaland, who had a pretty poor game. He really should have scored. 1.71 XG, 0 goals, 2 shots on target, 5 off target. Definitely an off night for Erling Haaland, and we should count ourselves lucky, because there was a lot of chances during the game where Erling Haaland really should have been, we saw the XG there, where he really should have been burying them. But in game, we actually looked a lot different. We continued with our 4-4-2 shape that was so successful against Aston Villa, and it was very successful against Manchester City in terms of reducing their ability to break into the box. They were forced to cross a lot of the time, particularly Kevin De Bruyne found himself crossing the ball into the box aimlessly, trying to find the head of Erling Haaland, but usually found the head of Axel Disasi today. But you can see by the positioning here, both Colwill and Disasi sitting quite far back, because we were penned in for the majority of the game, and we did do quite well hitting them on the counter-attack, which is one of the reasons why I'm quite annoyed with Pochettino, but I'll get into that in just a minute. And then we had Chilwell, obviously, and Gusto kind of sitting in line with the pivot of Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, and you can see how close they are again, and how much that helped us in terms of building out from the back and not leaving Caicedo isolated, although he did pick up a yellow card and was actually lucky to not get a second yellow. But then we have Sterling and Nicholas Jackson sitting as the two highest, furthest forward players. But Gallagher and Palmer played really well. Palmer dropped deeper again to help. Palmer actually did a very good job of dropping deeper to help Malo Gusto 2v1 against Jeremy Doku, a fantastic dribbler, of course. And it was certainly noticed during the game. I did see a lot of the time when Doku was attacking down that right-hand side of Chelsea's defence or the left-hand side of Man City's attack, Malo Gusto and Cole Palmer were double-teaming him and keeping him quiet. But Cole Palmer, again, I think he was in contention man in the match. He did a fantastic job, playing out wide, but he was able to move into the third attacking column, if you want to call it, going from left to right, the third attacking column of Chelsea, just cutting inside, and then playing brilliant through balls either to Nicholas Jackson or an overlapping Malo Gusto before he puts the cross in. Fantastic game from Cole Palmer. Obviously didn't score, but I think classic Cole Palmer performance, and he was enjoying himself. We saw, I think, very early on he nearly had a shot on target, and then it was kicked away by, I want to say it was Nathan Ake, and he immediately had a smile on his face. He was enjoying himself out there. But Man City, look at their average positioning, and it's night and day difference. I mean, Chelsea have 2.5 players in their half, whereas Man City have 8.25 players in our half. It was very one-sided in terms of the amount of pressure Chelsea were absorbing, but we did well for 83 minutes until Rodri scored his goal from, basically just a Rodri shot, the classic power shot, straight out goal, deflected off of Trevor Chalobah and into the back of the net. I don't think it was Trevor Chalobah's fault. I'd actually say it was more Maurizio Pochettino's fault, and this is why. Chelsea were doing really, really, really well. Because we had a nice compact system in place. The 4-4-2 was working brilliantly. They weren't getting that many clear-cut chances, and Erling Haaland was having a quiet off game. But around about the 64th minute, we made our first substitution, which I agree with. Raheem Sterling came off for Christopher Nkunku, and then they made an adjustment. Bernardo Silva came on for Julian Alvarez, And then we did this, which I think just offset what we were doing and was the beginning of our downfall. Around about the 71st minute, Cole Palmer came off, one of our better attacking outlets in terms of this side, and being able to play through balls alongside the likes of Enzo Fernandez and even Moises Caicedo. But having that ability to play through balls in behind and catch Man City on the counter-attack, because they were basically all out attack following the second half. We were absorbing a lot of pressure. They had a very high line, but instead of putting on maybe Mykhailo Mudryk for Nicholas Jackson maybe, or another pacey player who can give Pep Guardiola something to think about, maybe alleviate some of the pressure on Chelsea, have Man City sit slightly further back, allowing us a little bit more breathing room. Instead of that, he decided to put on Cesar Caste for Nicholas Jackson, and then we moved into a 5 at the back with Trevor Chalobah slotting in next to Axel Disasi and next to Malo Gusto. But from that point on, we had no attacking threat. Raheem Sterling was off, Cole Palmer was off, Conor Gallagher was dropping deeper, more into a box-to-box, or even not a 6 position, but working alongside Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo and cutting off Man City and absorbing pressure, with just Christopher Nkunku sitting up front for anything to come towards him. And I think that was very naive, and I think that decision just to basically around about the 71st, the 82nd minute, just to take off those players and say, listen, Man City, that's it, we're not going to attack you anymore, we have no attacking presence, we're just going to absorb all the pressure for the next 13, 14 minutes. I think that cost us heavily. I really do. I think that would send a message to Pep Guardiola saying, well, hang on guys, we can now push up as high as we want with little worry that they're going to do anything with it, because it'll be Christopher Nkunku up front and nobody else. And that is where we conceded. 1 minute after Nicholas Jackson came off and Cesar Caste came on, Rodri scored. And I think it was also unfair for Trevor Chalobah. I think that's his first appearance this season. I think if you're going to bring on a player in that position, put on Alfie Gilchrist. Obviously, he's nowhere near as experienced in terms of professional minutes as someone like Trevor Chalobah, but he's more experienced and he's more sharp this season than someone like Trevor Chalobah. And I'm not saying Trevor Chalobah wouldn't or couldn't get stuck in this game, but it would have been interesting to see how Alfie Gilchrist would have done against Erling Haaland and the likes of Jeremy Doku and even Kevin De Bruyne. But I'm just going to go over the stats here quickly. Ball possession, 71% to our 29% again. They were controlling the game for the majority of it, but We had 9 shots to their 31, but we had 6 on target. So we had a 66 or 67% shot accuracy, but they had 5 shots on target to 31%. There we go. Just done it quickly with my my calculator here. They had a 16% shot accuracy, which is very off for Manchester City, especially when you've got Erling Haaland at striker, who did miss a lot of great chances. It's 12 shots off target. We had 14 block shots. So our compact system, that 4-4-2 shape, was doing fantastic to nullify their attacks. They had 12 corner kicks to our 1. We had 5 offsides. We had a lot of we tried to play a lot of through balls in behind, and I think Nkunku had a really good chance. But Gallagher just played it to him a little bit early when he was still offside. I think Gallagher could have played ran with the ball a bit more before crossing in the ball. 12 fouls to their 7, 3 yellow cards to their 1. Petrovic got a yellow card for time wasting. Caicedo got 1 in the first half, I believe. Yeah, pretty early on, 35th minute for a tackle. And Cole Palmer also got 1 for time wasting, I believe. But again, even with all that possession, even with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and such, we had the same amount of big chances created, and they even, in fact, missed more big chances. So we played really, really, really well in terms of the opposition we were against, in terms of the lineup we put out, in terms of the average age of the squad, 23.9 to their 27.5. Lesser manager, but we still set up in a way where we were competitive against Man City for 83 minutes. The decisions to take off Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson killed us. It killed us dead because it showed Man City and Pep Guardiola we have no attacking threat. You can just now bomb forward with no, as I said, no threat of a counter-attacking goal coming back your way, because it's literally one man up front and the rest of the players aren't super well equipped or aren't specialists in terms of balls over the top or balls in behind like Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer are. I see this as 2 points dropped. I never like seeing Chelsea lose. I always want us to win, and I think, as I said, those 2 substitutions, that in-game management from Poch really cost us today. I really wish he didn't do that. I really wish that we could have walked away with all 3 points, but it was a tough game. We walked into it thinking we were going to get absolutely destroyed. I saw 4-0, 5-0 score predictions for Man City, and it ended up being 1-1 when it, as I said, when it really should have been 2-1 or 3-1. Nicholas Jackson had a really good chance, kind of got caught under his feet, and Sterling also had another good chance. He did score his chance, one of his chances, but he did miss another one. But in conclusion, I think there are a lot of positives we can take from this game. One being Axel Disasi played fantastically well. I've been a critic of him in the past, but to see that performance from him today was really something. And I think this game gives us a bit of a boost going into the final against Liverpool. A fantastic opportunity to get European football next season, of course. Hopefully get that Air Jordan sponsorship. It just depends on our in-game management. If we are 1-0 up or if we are 2-0 up and we start being too negative, we start being too defensive and we take off our attacking threat, sometimes the best form of defense can be attack. And I don't think we should have rid ourselves of that with 10 minutes to go when everything was going so smoothly anyway. We could have got 2-0. We could have had a moment where Man City are going all out attack. We get the ball, Gallagher gets the ball, Palmer has the ball, plays it in behind for Raheem Sterling or Nicholas Jackson, and it's 2-0, game over, and we get all 3 points. I think we should have taken that gamble. We would, if we had conceded, we would have conceded. But we would have conceded doing something that was working for 90 minutes, basically. And I would have been more happy with that instead of going down the route we did go in terms of just removing all our attacking threat and leaving ourselves to nothing but pressure. But man of the match performance from Axel Disasi. I did actually think it went to Kevin De Bruyne, but I just checked now, and it did go to Axel Disasi. Well deserved. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1, and that now leaves the Premier League table looking like this. Chelsea still in 10th on 35 points, a number of points behind Tottenham Hotspur in 5th, and a number of points behind Aston Villa in 4th, about 14 points behind top 4. Man City are now on 53 points, 4 points behind Liverpool, who are sitting at 57, but they do have a game in hand where they can, in fact, go in front of Arsenal and go 1 point behind Liverpool. But that about wraps up today's video. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section down below. Do you think Poch was right in ridding us of our attacking threat and basically going all out defensive structure against Manchester City when we could have maybe held out for a 2-0 win or even a 1-1 draw, just keep saying what we were doing and keeping to our morals? If you like the video, like, comment and subscribe. I've been the Critic, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.